The Beaufort County Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting call to order today. If we'd all please stand and give our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Thank you everybody for being here. Why don't you start and we'll head around here and then we'll go this way.
All right, Heather Clint with Parks and Rec.
Ron Campbell, north of the Broad.
Alan Arsenault, south of the Broad.
Bruce Yeager, south of the Broad.
Phil Kaiser, South Broad.
Buffy Caputaro, north.
Joe Mack, a bike store downtown with Beaufort Trailblazers. Bill Crow, City of Beaufort. Rob Wells with Visit Beaufort, Football in the Sea Islands.
Thank you very much.
Dan Steger, Deputy Director, Parks and Rec.
Eric Brown, Conservation Director. Chris Montroy, Sea Islands Pickleball Club.
Scott Whitehead.
Haley Johnson, Beaufort One West.
Rosie, south of Broad River, Parks and Rec.
Rockaway Recreation Manager. Action Assistant Athletic Manager in Bluffton.
All right, thank you all for being here. Can I get an approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Presentation, Friends of Burton Wells. Oh, okay. There's,
Set this just right here?
sure, I mean, if you can, yeah, that's fine.
Is that easy enough?
Well, I was, if you want to speak up there, but if that'd probably be a little better for us. Can everybody see that?
Here, and there's a microphone on the end of that table.
Whatever
Wherever
your
you're
preference
comfortable.
is.
Yeah.
Can everybody see this?
We have a second one here if the side of the
Oh,
room
okay.
would like to see it too. That's true. And they'll be here, so people can take a look at them on their way out.
Okay.
So, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate the invitation to come and share something that we've been working on in the Beaufort community for a couple months now, with the creation of our Friends of Burton Wells Regional Park. So the mission of the Friends organization is to support Burton Wells as the facility that it is, over 300 acres of amazing property north of the Broad with tremendous potential, that the programs are filled to capacity, they're influencing lives, influencing the community, and there's, in our opinion, just so much room to improve those programs and to improve the community. And we're here to see what we can do to help facilitate that. So what we see the Friends of Burton Wells being is a community liaison between Parks and Rec and the community. We've kind of already noticed that with a community meeting that we had we received a lot of community input of things that should be done out here and things that aren't being done out here in the community's opinions. And we really would like to be that buffer so that Parks and Rec can do their job and we can handle some community outreach and education about what the facility is and what the vision of it is. So the boards that we have here are the original master plan when the park was first started. And a lot of this did get completed. There are things that did not, and then there's a big areas that we could continue to grow Beaufort County. We are not only out here multiple times a week with baseball, we've done soccer out here, and it's such a tremendous asset to the town of Beaufort, Okatee, Walterboro. It could just really be this substantial place. But something that I noticed over the past couple of months in talking to people, I own a couple local businesses, so when I communicate with people, they say, well, where's that? And that to me is just so heartbreaking, because I know that Alex pours his heart and soul into this facility, and I know that the kids that are out here are being positively impacted. But if you don't have kids in the Little League or play pickleball, because that's very, very popular here, I think that a lot of the community doesn't realize how much of an asset is out here now. And we just want to be able to help educate people that this gem is here. There's also some areas that we, as the Friends group from the community, have seen of areas of potential growth with additional larger facilities. We're also in the travel sports world with my high school age daughter. So everybody knows about Rock Hill, and everybody knows about these big tournaments that happen. And it breaks my heart to spend weekends up in Columbia, because it's as quick as you can get in, as quick as you can get out. And the draw, the big 1 week in a month tournament that you go up to Myrtle Beach, you make a vacation out of it, you make it long. And I really could see a positive impact on the sports tourism side with an economic impact with growing the facilities just based off of what they've already projected in the original drawings. So I just wanted to introduce ourselves, and please utilize us as an asset. That is our goal. Fielding emails about dog park function or parking problems, those are things that we're happy to buffer to allow Parks and Rec the freedom to do their job and to partner with them in any way. The other really, really strong asset to having a friends group associated with you is the economic impact that it opens up as far as personal donations, grants, federal funding, things like this. So I think that a lot of people have a misconception that we are here asking for $1 million facilities and we want the county to pay for it, but we are here to come alongside you guys and to be a partner, to roll up our sleeves, to get community beautification weekends, anything that you guys need from the community. We would love to be that partnership with you guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, I would just make the comment that on Hilton Head, there was an organization, I can't even remember the number of years ago now, but People for Parks was a similar type of an organization. And they spearheaded a lot of fundraising that went into the Crossings Park. So organizations such as yourselves, have great roles. I think it's, and this is my opinion, Eric, you may have a different opinion, but I think, as you said, you need to be complementary in terms of what the mission is.
Absolutely.
And, we are an advisory group. We do not make the decisions as it pertains to capital projects. That's done on the county council level. So, you can go into the budget each year and see what's allocated to these various things. But if you have a strong community group and we're working in the same direction together, I don't see that as not being a positive. Do you, Eric?
No, I don't see it as not being a positive.
What are the issues in
Well,
relationships such as this?
Some of the things that she mentioned, there's elected official decisions on some of those things.
Right.
And so, yeah, we would have to actually meet and just, I explained to somebody when I heard about Friends of Burton Wells that we're already governed by a board. I know a lot of pop-up groups come out and want to establish groups for whatever reason. And so, yeah, there's a lot of things that pour into it as far as going to tournaments and they want to see them here. Well, we'll host them here, But we are a recreation that wanna make sure we keep our concentration on in-house sports. Travel sports is great. We love travel sports, but we have groups that may do that. But there's not a whole lot of travel sports because we like to make sure that all of our kids can participate. Travel, there's a certain amount of kid and a certain level of kid that's gonna participate in that. So I get the point where you wanna have tournaments, and we have, when I got here last year, we had a huge tournament. Unfortunately, we won't have it this year, or even maybe next year, the baseball tournament, but it will be coming back.
Talking about the Dixie?
The Dixie, yeah.
Yeah, right.
And I did meet with Rob on some things that we can accomplish with some tournaments that they were affiliated with, and those groups can actually come and meet with us, and we can determine on how we can actually facilitate those tournaments here in Beaufort County, so they do not have to leave outside of the county, or those, parents that have kids that play here can actually participate here as well.
Yeah. You know, first and foremost, and I understand the travel as well, because I coached travel baseball for a long time. Alan's done it.
I just want to put out that that's a very, very small. I mean, what we're comparing it to is the facility that's in Bluffton and the impact that that large-scale facility is having on Bluffton. The people of Beaufort would love to have it on this site as well. So, I mean, I just
Are you
think
talking
that
about the rec center in Bluffton? Or which?
the Buckwalter facility, yeah, the
okay,
whole.
all right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, and I think didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but what I'm saying is, first and foremost, what we're concerned about is access to recreation for our taxpayers and people who live in the county. That's the number one thing. The second thing is that we went through a major study and went into the community with meetings to see what everybody wants. And so the longer that study sits on the shelf, right, it loses its impact. But a couple things you said I really agree with, and that is it's a great resource. We probably need to build a little more brand awareness about what we have here. My friend, Mr. Pickleball over there, we talked, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and at that time you sort of felt like if we built pickleball courts here, that they wouldn't be utilized. We sort of determined that they are being utilized. Yeah. So yes, we've got a great jewel here. We probably need to get some more PR about what we have out here. And I would say that this board, again, as an advisory board, is wholly in, unless someone wants to tell me I'm wrong, we're in support of supporting an organization that wants to work to make things better for recreation. Does anybody else have any comments on that? So we appreciate you being here. I don't know what the proper way to facilitate that relationship is. So that's something that maybe you can meet with the group, and then you guys can report back to us what you're doing. But I know that relationship on Hilton Head was very fruitful. So thank you for being here, and we hope that this relationship can be as fruitful.
All right. Thank you so
All right.
much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we did not have a quorum at the January meeting. I apologize, so we need to, oh, I'm sorry, public comment. I always skip, whoever's here for public comment, I apologize. But who is here for public comment? Anybody?
I had a brief comment.
Sure, come on.
Stand right here.
Why don't you go over?
This is fine.
Well, okay.
So, yeah, Joe Mack, I live in Beaufort, work in Beaufort, and I grew up in Beaufort. So I didn't know if I was gonna speak or not, but I came for the present. So to keep this short, there's no philanthropist in Beaufort. So if, anybody wins a lottery, so there's a piece of property just to the north, Haversham, about 500 acres. I believe Bonnie said this was, 300 acres? Yes. So 500 acres on the west side of Joe Frazier, on the Broad River side. They'll probably eventually put homes. They've been trying for years, I think. I think a million 20, 30 years ago. But live in Virginia, Richmond, big time developers. And then the other side of Joe Frazier, well, let me back up. The west side, that 500 acres, I bike that property. So we were looking to put trails. So mountain biking trails, running trails, walking trails, it's all the same thing, multi-use. It's the only sport hanging with pickleball for explosive growth. That property is gorgeous, it's worth a lot of money. And then on the other side of the road, it's tied into the same property, but when they bought it, that would be on this side of Joe Frazier. Closer to here, that's about, I think it's about 100 acres. They wanted to cram in the homes there. So it's all woods right now. I don't know how you acquire that land for that amount of pricing. It's difficult. That is, I bike a lot of properties, scouting them, so.
So just to kind of pull us back on here, are you advocating that the county buy that property?
No, I mean, I don't know how you get that out of the hands of the private folks, so I don't, with that kind of price money, who knows what it's worth today, so. I don't know, I'm not real familiar with land. I've just scouted them with my bicycle. We have built a trail. We built a trail over by the hospital, Rebo Road. We saw loop trail, you know, government's known for red tape, taking forever to do something, and that's hoping they pull the right trigger decision after, 10, 20 years. It should have took, 12 months. So we built that trail, no consultant, no nothing, we just went and built it. If we needed permission, who knows how long it would have took. It wasn't our land, so actually. Burton Wells. So yeah, I mean, we need something on the west side, we need something in the middle, we need something way off to the east, which would be, Ladies Island, St. Helena. The money should be a bonus. If you got the passion, you gotta get, you gotta have a backbone, and you gotta make this happen. You can't sit here and listen to the 5 people that are gonna say no to something. So, you can't be scared of Graham Trash, you can't be scared of Dick Stewart, you can't be scared of these people. You just gotta go and give the kids and give them what they want. This is something they want, and that's your own study. They have their own surveys in that study that I read, and that is in there that they wanted it for sure.
This board deals with parks and recreation activities on property that's already acquired that the county owns. So as far as acquiring more lands and things like that, that's a county decision, not a Parks and Rec decision. I mean, Parks and Rec obviously has input on that, what we need. I appreciate your comments, but that's something that's out of the purview of this group. Now, if there are trails that could be put on Burton Wells, that would be a different situation because we already own the property. And I don't even know if that's something that was in the original plan. I think there might have been a loop track or something.
There's a walking path on
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah, so, maybe it makes sense to work with this group.
They got a paved path on the other side of Burton Wells Road, right.
But understand, we're not a group. I mean, we could have some influence, and we could if Parks and Rec was looking at a particular piece of property, we could support that. But that's really not our role.
That doesn't fall in, they
Yeah.
fall in passive parks.
Right.
But just food for thought. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. All right. Is anybody else here for public comment? Okay. All right. Now, review and approve the January minutes. Do I have a motion for that?
Motion to approve.
We're approving those because we didn't have a quorum last time.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then, the March minutes. Have we reviewed those? Can
Yep.
someone give me a
Raise your
motion on that?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. All right, fee waiver reduction request, how about the Shepherd Tennis Academy? And it was Janice, right?
I'm Janice, yes.
Yes. What's your last name, Janice?
John,
Johnson. Okay.
And I'm not gonna read all of this
Right.
paragraph, but I just want to kind of
All right. Board members, Janice brought by an addition to your packet that I think all of you have. And that, Janice, we haven't all had the opportunity to read all this, but we do have it here. So go ahead.
I'll read some of it. The stuff that well, I'll just read some of it. I just want to introduce, most of Beaufort know Larry Shepherd. Raise your hand. Larry, he's taught most of the kids in Beaufort, grew up in Beaufort, learning how to play tennis. He went to Grambling University on a tennis scholarship. And that's what he does. He works to get the kids tennis prepared and helps them get scholarships to go away to college. And so I've been working with Larry since 2009, on and off. He's got a really good group now that he's got. His organization is now 501c3. He's got a board of directors, and you know, we are, I say they, but we are organized now. I'm not on the board. I'm still like off-site helping. We gave tournament last year. There was his first tournament he's ever given for the Shepherd Tennis Association for kids in the area, and it was just to kind of get everybody to get to know who we are, who Larry is, who Beaufort is. And it attracted kids from Atlanta. Well, this is the first USTA, United States Tennis Association. That's the first USTA sanctioned tournament that Larry's ever given, or Shepherd Tennis has ever given. And it drew so much attention that we had to shave it down. We had more kids than we had planned to have. And so we shaved it down. We only had one day, we needed 2 days. So we cut the matches down. So it was fun, but it wasn't enjoyable. The kids couldn't get competitive because we had to time the matches and blow the whistle because we didn't have time for everybody to play. So this year, we wanted to get two days instead of 1 day. But last year when we applied, this was our first time. We've learned a lot from the first tournament, but last year when we applied, the board didn't request any kind of a fee exception or waiver or anything. Whatever the fee was, they just went ahead and paid it, which is what you ordinarily do. This was our first time. The fees that the kids had to pay to play in the tournament, that all got sucked up with the court fees. But we weren't there to make money. We were a nonprofit organization. So we were just there to get our name on the board. It just did more than we thought because we had people coming from everywhere. I guess they're just kids just hurting to play tennis because I was surprised when we had a couple of kids from Atlanta and the parents were on the way down and calling us. And most kids' tournaments, because we usually take our kids to tournaments out to Charleston or Hilton Head. And when we go to junior tournaments there, it's just water and Gatorade and bananas and stuff. Well, Larry wasn't having it. The Bricks restaurant right next door from Larry, they set it out with nice food and fruit and stuff for the kids. So it was a smash, the first tournament. But what happened was when we spent all the money on the court reservations, the balls and all the money that we spent to do it, we came out, it would be called a loss if it wasn't a not-for-profit organization. It would be considered a loss. But it was a gain because our name is on the board and so is Beaufort's name on the board. We didn't know the USTA was going to send out customer review after the tournament, and I brought that to you. The parents that brought their kids to the tournament, they reviewed the tournament, and they were telling us too that was just absolutely the best. And it was, because I take our kids to tournaments, and I see how people treat the kids like they're numbers. Instead of, some kids don't know how to count, or some don't understand the game. Well, we had volunteers from tennis players from downtown out there helping the parents, helping the kids. As a matter of fact, we made a booklet now for the parents and the kids always have so they can know about tournaments. So now we're getting ready to have our second annual, it's called the Schools Out Tournament. And that's gonna be, June 14th and 15th. We decided to try to get one more day. But we paid a whole lot for one day. So that's what I asked Heather, if they would consider letting us get the courts, just waive the fees on the court for that
Okay,
reason.
so the request that you made here is for June 7th and June 8th, so now that would be,
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
okay, we've already communicated,
You've
they did
communicated
change
that.
it, that was her
Okay.
We
original
had to change it, I'm sorry.
It's good, we've got the courts available.
Yeah, I had to change it to 14.
we have a 70-30 agreement with Mr. Shepherd, right? So this is through you, through your organization?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and so what you're asking for, it looks like about 7 hours a day and for 2 days.
Yes.
Per court. And how many courts are you requesting?
We need 6 courts, because we're gonna, last year, we only had 4, we had ages 12, 14, 16, and 18. This year, we're gonna have the 10-year-olds, so we're gonna have 5 age groups. It's gonna go up from 64 kids, entrance to 80. So we need 2 days. We need 2 days, and we need to use like the 6 courts for 2 days.
Okay, so what I'm trying to determine here is we would, if I'm reading this right, Heather, under our current fee structure, it'd be $90 per court per day for 7 hours.
Well, it's 50 per 3 hours.
And then $10 per hour thereafter.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you wanted 6 courts for 7 hours, that's gonna be $540 a day. Is that correct? Okay, so $1,080. Okay. And this is gonna be a USTA sanctioned event?
Yes.
Okay. Before I say anything, do you all have any comments?
Well, is this any different than what the pickleball group that we approved last fall?
You mean for the whole
Tournament
facility?
That they ran.
Well, I don't know, it doesn't appear that there's a charitable component to this. The
Yeah.
the pickleball, tournament, they raised all the money and they donated all the money to a local charity. And I think they ended up raising, I don't know, we'd have to look at the minutes here, but I think it was pretty substantial. 15,000 or something, 9,000? So I think the position of the board for that activity was, certainly, if you're gonna take all the proceeds and put it in a local charity, that we wanted to support that. Does anyone have a different remembrance of that?
Well, I don't remember, were they a 501c3?
Yeah, the entity that ran the pickleball?
Yeah.
I believe so, because
Good.
they also had, here you go, Brian Fenlon, Low Country Pickleball Leagues, recap for the tournament. The 2-day tournament raised 1,000 pounds of food for second helping. They also presented a check to the Director of Family Promise for $12,687. And, yeah, I mean, so we looked at that on the front end when we approved it, was the purpose of what they were doing. And that's why we gave that, and I think our response when he came back and told us, is that we would support that activity again because we were using our resources here locally to support local people. Is that, okay.
May I clarify one thing?
Sure.
The 70-30 agreement you have with Shepherd Tennis is for when adults go online and sign up for classes.
Yeah, I was just pointing out that we had a relationship with the entity
Right,
already.
right.
That's all I was
Because
pointing out.
the Shepherd Tennis Academy is nonprofit, so he gives free lessons to the kids.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
okay,
and we're
okay, I
very
wanted to-
happy with that
yeah,
relationship, so
yeah.
thank you, sir.
Every Saturday.
Yeah, thank you. So we had another entity come in front of us representing Beaufort seniors who participate with USTA requesting a fee and waiver, and we declined that because it was USTA, and, so I guess what I'm saying, what I'm asking is, you know, I understand you want to run a tennis tournament and people are coming from out of town. I'm just searching for a reason why we would waive the fees on those, other than the fact that I know that, I mean, we have fees for a reason. I guess that's all I'm saying. Does anybody else have another comment on that?
Well, the kids are paying, they only pay $30 to play. It's not like a regular adult tournament where it's $100. It's not a money-making venture. So
Right.
we just were hoping, because he's a not-for-profit and he's done so much for the community, that they would consider waiving the fee for that tournament
Yeah.
for 2 days out of a year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, I mean, I appreciate what y'all are doing. I mean, I think we have in the past waived a portion of fees for certain things on a one-time basis, but the majority of the time that we're waiving fees, it's for people who are, again, doing philanthropic things, clinics, whatever. I mean, we have this relationship with Larry for that. This is 2 days on a weekend that is gonna be USTA. I'm just looking at it a little differently. Does anybody on the board have a different feeling on this? Are they underprivileged kids? Are they people who need scholarships to be able to participate in the tournament? I'm more apt to support something that's local for underprivileged kids than I am for people driving in from Atlanta. That doesn't mean there's not a place for that.
That's sort of what we do.
What's that?
We try to cater to the kids here
Yeah, that's what your 70-30 program we have with you, right?
for tennis scholarships in the long run.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, the 70-30 program is for tennis clinics when adults want to play on the courts downtown, and they go online and sign-
Sure, yeah. I'm just looking at the nature of, again, what we don't want to do here, we want to support things that make sense, but we're also taking the resources, and whatever exception we make for one group can become a precedent on an ongoing basis. So that's what's giving me some pause here.
Right, and so 2 questions. Of the 50 to 75, how many people are gonna be just local?
You never know.
I mean, what percentage do you think?
Majority were local. Well, how many people?
35% or 35 of the,
Kids.
out of how many?
About 50%?
Yeah.
Okay. And did all of them have to pay something to get into the tournament?
Oh, yeah.
See, and I think that's what he's getting at, is that when you're asking for fees, right?
I'm paid, I'm pretty sure the ones out of town, but out of my pocket.
Yeah, our own juniors, our own juniors did not pay for it. No, our own juniors didn't pay for it. No, how many?
Donations from the community.
Right.
I would like to direct you to the page that I gave you, the board.
Right.
The, next to the last paragraph.
Sure.
On 2. And that's one reason that we were trying to reconcile that too.
What are you referencing?
Number 2,
Who are we?
Oh, I got you. Why you're requesting? Yeah, okay.
trying to reconcile that too. You know, I don't want to discuss that here, but,
Okay. Does anybody have any, Buffy, do you have any comments? Anybody have any comments? Okay, so I think what we could potentially do, not to set a precedent here, is we have given people a one-time fee waiver of a portion of a fee. And I think from my perspective, this is discussion, is that you're doing good things in our community. If we can help you gain some traction on a one-time basis for a tournament that you're gonna hold on an annual basis moving forward, I mean, I think I could support a 50% reduction in fees for a 2-day tournament, provided that the facility is available. And hopefully that can help you expand the tournament so that next year you could pay the full fee. That would be something I think I could get behind. So,
How many
does it-
courts are there? Six, there'll still be one open.
Yeah. So,
I'm fine with that.
I can agree with that.
all right, can someone make a motion, because I can't?
I motion to give them a one-time reduction in fees of 50% for the 2-day tournament. And we'll see how it goes from there for any future years.
Right. We would like you as a requirement for that. Now, all the insurance, everything is running under Shepherd Tennis Academy. Okay, and we'd like you to come back and just give us a report on the tournament, the successes, you know, so.
Because we're gonna take a few champions from that tournament to the,
Good.
Florida, which we do every year.
So, again, it's not that we don't appreciate what you're doing, we don't, but I think a one-time, makes sense to grow it here locally. And obviously, it's good for us. If people from Atlanta, people from wherever come here, they spend money here and they do whatever. So I think this one time. So, Alan made that motion. Does anybody?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Good luck with your
everybody.
tournament.
We appreciate this.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Larry.
All right.
You guys are good, unless you want to.
No, you have to stay till the end, Janice. If you leave early, it's only gonna be at 25. All right, so we got the annual Beaufort Water Festival pickleball folks, I think. All right, this is usually a 3-minute deal, so, okay, all right.
I will not be long
all
at all.
right.
No.
Okay,
I am Saley Johnson.
so take 4.5.
Okay, no.
All right.
I'm going for 2. I'm Saley Johnson. I'm the sports coordinator this year for Beaufort Water Festival. We are again having our pickleball tournament. We have asked to have it here as well as last year. Last year we did not pay a fee, much like Shepherd Tactical, and we're Shepherd Tennis. And we're asking again if we can get the fee waived for this year as well.
I don't remember waiving a fee.
We did not get charged at all last year.
Wow,
I don't know.
how many hours were you here and how many days?
That was not my issue last year.
Okay.
But no, when we have used the facility in the past, we have not been charged for using the facility because we provide you with, like they were saying, we have your name on everything that we do for the tournament. It gets out there. There's advertising and marketing that is included with providing us with the location.
Okay, again,
And we're not profit. We don't
so you're a 501c3 entity?
believe so. To be honest,
You don't know?
I do not know.
Okay.
It's our treasurer's wheelhouse. I believe so. Yes, I was gonna say, I believe we are, but I don't wanna speak out of turn.
Beaufort Water Festival has historically and annually distributed multiple
Yes.
scholarships throughout the community.
We do, and all of
Okay.
our volunteer groups, our civic organizations throughout the 10 days of festival, and our money goes to them as well.
Right. Okay, again, though, if the facility was used for free, I don't believe it didn't come through this entity, so I'm
Yeah,
not,
I don't know, again, I know there's new people that are running the facility, I just know that when we were talking about it at our meetings. we
but
were
you're
not-
saying last year you
Last year
had
we
this
used the
tournament
facility.
right out there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, I don't know, maybe last year someone else gave an approval, but it didn't come through this,
I'm not sure.
board.
I've been dealing with Brandon this year.
Okay,
partner.
all right. So we've got, again, do we have a one-day tournament?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All the courts?
Yes, as far as, we're still getting registrations, so it will depend on the number of teams we have.
So how many teams did you have last year and how many courts did you use?
Last year, I believe we used all the courts. I think we had maybe those 20 to 30 teams, I believe is what it was.
Okay. And so,
I'll be honest,
what do we have, 6 out there? 8. Okay. So what you're asking for us is that we basically give you an $800 fee waiver?
yes, sir.
Okay. And what about things like trash cleanup and all that?
We provide all, we do
You
all of it. We
provide
will
all
do
that?
We will do all of that.
Okay,
yes, sir.
and you'll provide insurance
Yes,
and?
that has been taken care
and the
of. We
waiver?
also provide, since the facility itself is not open, last year, we had a portalette come in and have the insurance for that as well.
Okay, and
Another offsite
will that be
pumping.
done again? Because
Mhm,
we're
yes, sir.
closed on Saturday
Yes,
this
sir.
year.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we have made arrangements for that as well.
And someone needs to educate me. I know the Beaufort Water Festival is a great thing. I've participated in it. I mean, I've gone and enjoyed it.
Yes, sir.
But you were commenting on contributions and things of
Yes,
that. It's a large contributor to the community
Yes,
and
sir.
scholarships and other things?
Yes, sir. So primarily our 10-day festival, every night and every day, the booths are run, all the tents are run by civic organizations in the county, and we pay them for their time.
Gotcha.
So that is where we contribute.
Okay, all right.
This is for 2 weekends from now?
Yes, not this coming, but the next one.
Anytime.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, I know the Beaufort Water Festival is a great thing, and I did know there was a philanthropic portion of that. So does anyone have any discussion, any comments on this?
Any idea what that's, I mean, what kind of usage do you normally have? Like, I don't imagine it's pretty busy, like through the community regularly
On Saturday?
on a Saturday?
So would we, if we need to keep some of the courts available, we can make that work? You let us know.
Wondering if we need to do that.
Well,
I mean, Alex, do you know?
I was gonna say, would you?
I mean, we run our programs out here Saturday, but I don't really look at pickleball courts that close.
Alex, understand your surroundings, man.
Any given day, those pickleball courts tend to be pretty crowded.
Yeah.
I know that Wednesdays and out there, I would imagine they're utilized on Saturdays too.
Okay. Does anybody have a recommendation or?
Maybe leaving one court open.
I'll second, but it never came to us before.
Yeah,
I've been on 3 years and I don't remember ever talking about
right,
the water festival.
yeah.
It was
Well,
new
we
for
do
us,
need,
too.
we do know that there were facility deals that were cut outside of this,
That's it.
before. I'm on record as acknowledging that. I mean, I didn't cut them, but, right, they're no longer with us. Yeah.
So if it makes any difference, for these tournaments that have been hosted out here, we
Yeah.
usually do put signage up advertising that the tournament is going to be played this particular weekend, like with that one that they did with all the donations.
Yeah, yeah,
And then, we also advertise for people to, like, there's usually a QR.
right,
So all the people that do utilize the facility are aware of the tournament going on and the closure.
right.
Okay.
Well, and you also, I think one, I'm not sure who mentioned it, that said that you put Beaufort County Parks and Rec on all of the,
We do, yes.
everything as a sponsor.
It's been on the website, it's been,
Okay.
yes, advertised that it will be at
All right.
Burton Wells.
And, yeah, and please, in your advertising, make sure in big things, Burton
Burton
Wells.
Wells, yes.
Right, okay,
Yes.
okay, all right. Again, I don't, for the first time, I don't have a problem with this. But what I would say is we would want you to come back at the meeting in July and tell us what happened there, and then give us the community impact on that. I think, as Friends of Burton Wells said, there are people around here who don't know where we are. I mean, getting more people in here is a good thing. So I could support a motion for that, on recognizing this is the first time we've seen this. Okay? Someone want to make a
make a
motion?
Murphy did.
What's that?
I think Murphy did,
Okay.
and I seconded.
Okay. And that motion was that there would be one court available for open play? Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you. Thank you.
It's on the website.
Is it?
Thanks around pickleball.
Yeah. All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we've got department reports. I'll let y'all, operations, I guess? Oh, thank you. My voice usually carries pretty well.
You guys know me. I'm Heather. I support administrative and operations functions. Here we have all our recreation center check-ins for March and April. March was a pretty big month. I chalk it up to basketball ending. All the courts opened up again, and we had no county closures or holidays that month. You guys have any questions?
It's kind of shocking, the difference between Burton Wells and, yeah. And I guess that's primarily because of the more rural nature of being out here and people needing rides to get out here versus people can walk to Buckwalter or do whatever.
I'm not sure, honestly. I would think that might be the case here, but of course Charles Lynn Brown is downtown, so
Gotcha.
that wouldn't account for that there.
Okay.
We have tried to promote, of course, but yeah. Maybe Eric has a comment on that part.
You have any comment on that, Eric, the utilization of this facility relative? I mean, this is a good sized facility. I mean,
It is a good sized facility, but we also have to look at Burton Well, I mean, the Buckwalter area does about 80,000 residents opposed to about 20,000.
True.
right. Yeah, there you go. There's your answer. All right, thank you.
And I just wanted to, this is separate from our recreation piece, I just wanted to point out some items that where we partner up with other parts of the county where they're using our facilities, so people understand we have our leagues and our own programming, but we're also allowing other county entities to use our facilities for their functions as well. So a few of them, our Human Resources Department ran a blood drive here at Burton Wells. There was a county council meeting at Buckwalter. The library came out here, and I think you guys saw maybe by the door they have a book box here now, similar to like an Amazon pickup, drop up thing. And they had their meeting here for that and showcase their book box. And then for Earth Day, wherein we had over 200 county staff pick up 9,000 pounds of trash along with 500 volunteers. I heard from Public Works that someone pulled a sailboat out of the marsh somewhere during this. We had there's a luncheon and speakers in Beaufort, but they also do a luncheon on south of the Broad, so that was at Buckwalter. You guys have, and these are just examples. We have other meetings and things that go on, so.
Good.
Okay.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, athletics.
2 minutes.
I'm sorry.
That window was imposed by him, not us.
So right now in Bluffton, these are the leagues we're currently running. We got soccer, baseball, softball, flag, lacrosse actually just ended. Diamond Youth softball, that's the 13, 16-year-old girls. The registration's closed. I think they have their first game next Tuesday. And same with Dixie Boys. That registration just recently closed. They start again Tuesday. For our adult leagues going right now we have adult softball going on. We got our 4 nights of the week. You see the drop in numbers. That's really because we have to go to Hilton Head in the spring, and a lot of the teams come from out of town, come from Beaufort, Savannah, Hampton. So a lot of the teams don't like going to Hilton Head during this time of year. So they kind of take this time off and then
Imagine that.
join us back in the fall. Yeah. So it's a mess down there. We went down there the other night. There's no fences. So we have to set up cones for home runs, and you imagine how that goes with arguments. And then the senior softball, that dropped out again. We lost those guys to Hilton Head. They do their own Wednesday afternoon league. Tried. We had the registration open. I think we got 2 teams to sign up, and they all shifted into the bronze when we decided we weren't going to be able to do senior.
But they have an alternative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Our summer sport recap, we have beach volleyball and adult kickball going on. I'm sorry, that's coming up. And the summer sports for basketball, we have youth basketball. We're at 187 right now. Registration, the regular registration closes next Friday, and then the late will close on the 16th. So that number will jump a good bit.
I got a question for you. Yeah, I'm coming at you. So I said I would bring this up, but I know that you're having really hard time getting umpires. Is that going to get better with like kids getting out of high school ball ending or all? And is that happening in the soccer side too?
So it's not as bad in soccer. I know Daryl's had to do a couple games, but not near, not nearly as bad as it's been for baseball. Now we had a conversation with Mike the other day. We're going to try to figure something out moving forward with maybe Mike kind of taking control of the scheduling, us still handling the umpires, but Mike being responsible for the scheduling. It's tough with that time of the year because you got, all the other sports, soccer, flag football, or not flag football, but soccer, adult softball, where all our officials go. And then you have the high school sports. So unfortunately, the youth baseball and softball kind of falls behind. So it's something now that, college is out, kids are coming home, high school ball's done. I know it's kind of towards the end of the season, but that availability opens up. Like All-Stars, Dixie takes care of that, so we're good on that front. But it's something we've talked about, me and Shane, Mike, and BYS. We've had that conversation.
Yeah, I think that needs to get fixed. I don't know how you
It
do
does.
it.
It does.
I mean, if umpires cost more, then the participant fees are gonna have to go up to pay for that.
Yeah.
Cause we can't have, and again, I know Bluffton Youth Sports runs it over here. I'm sure you got the same issues in Beaufort with that league, I guess, with umpires. So, I mean, we really, as we know from adult softball, when they don't have umpires, right? Or, I mean, that never works out either, but
No.
for kids,
No,
with
we've had to
parents and
step in
everything
a good
else,
bit.
we're gonna need to find a way to either pay them more or whatever. I don't know, what are they getting paid per game now?
So it depends on the age group. It
Right.
ranges anywhere from, if it's a one man, I believe it's like 28, I believe, for the young kids, and I think it goes up to 45 maybe for the older kids. But that's a one man. I think it goes down if you're a 2-man, which honestly we haven't had a 2-man all season. Just where it's hard enough for us to get a 1-man.
I'm sure the parents sitting in the stands are just really
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, and it doesn't help any difficult situations. When
Right, well,
you have an
I think
umpire out there.
something, if we're gonna have, a softball, baseball, whatever league we're gonna have, I think, we need to, have officials.
Aye,
So
absolutely.
that's something that just needs to get fixed. I don't know how maybe there's some creative ways of doing it, but obviously we need people to want to umpire, which is a thankless job anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so.
And that's part of the problem is.
I don't
a
know,
lot
but
of-
maybe we need to brainstorm about that.
Yeah,
and
that's,
fix
and
that
a
problem.
lot of the older guys that have been doing it forever, they're tired of the parents and tired of the complaining, and so they're stepping aside, and there's kind of nobody coming up to
Right.
replace them. So
Well, I think even when I was a kid and played baseball, and that was a long, long time ago, I think aluminum bats were just invented. People were complaining. So that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great,
All
thank
right.
you.
I know, y'all want to maybe.
All right, so Beaufort, very similar to Bluffton with all our sports that we're running. So we got that oldest age group that's coming up that's about to get started. So that number went down from last year, but that was probably a lot due to us hosting the World Series here, so we had a lot higher participation in that 13 to 15 age group for baseball. Most notable number there is softball went up by 36. This is our first time that we've been able to keep our softball in-house in Beaufort, besides that 13 to 15 age group. So our 6-year-olds all the way up to our 12-year-olds have been able to stay in Beaufort and not have to travel to Bluffton at all to play. They have thoroughly enjoyed that. So we hope that number continues to go up. And I would attribute a lot of that probably to our decrease in soccer there. So probably some of those kids moving over from soccer to softball in the spring.
I will also note though, we talk about how much visibility this facility gets. That chart there shows you there are 1,200 children in Beaufort coming to this facility to play. So while the feeling may be that it's not being utilized, 1,200 kids across those sports is a fairly big
And we
number.
think a lot of people need to know about the area as opposed to not knowing that it's here. And the numbers don't lie.
Well, I think it's a great facility. I mean, this facility was built before Buckwalter was built. Yeah, I think anything that we can do to, and it's just overall, make it more top of mind with everybody is a good thing.
This facility was built, Buckwalter was built, recently, but this facility was built, but a lot of stuff that was supposed to have been done at this facility wasn't done until here lately.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
the money was allocated, but it wasn't used.
Well, Buckwalter started as a 2-gym facility,
Right.
and then that was expanded in
Yeah.
the early 20s. So as the master plans, they're created but not funded, and that's kind of a
Well,
council role.
it would be interesting if Carlos was here because, well, I don't, from a school perspective, I've got to believe that the number of students is increasing dramatically over here comparatively. I mean, just driving down the road, I mean, there's so much growth. So, I would expect nothing but continued increased use of the facility. So just a question of, are we reaching out? And I know everybody has everything to do every day, and your days are full, but just more overall a strategy of just being top of mind with people. I don't know what the answer is, and I'm not being critical either. I'm not being critical. I just think we've got a great facility here.
Well, believe it or not, these numbers are actually dangerously close to making our seasons longer and longer because we're constrained to 3 of our big size soccer fields and 3 baseball fields. And
Right.
baseball, softball, with that growth in softball, our season's either getting longer or we're having to, shave off two games from the season, go from
Gotcha.
12 games to 10 games.
Right.
So we're dangerously close to outgrowing that 3-wheel facility of fields out there for baseball, softball. So
Do you use old Burton Wells too?
currently we use it for rentals and practices, but
You don't use it for games?
we don't use it for games because, at the end of the day, we have porta johns out there, and it's not compared to the facility out here. I don't feel like the people that are paying the money for the registration fees and everything would be good to put any games out there compared to games out here, if that makes sense for my own programs that we run, our own programs that we run here in
I
Beaufort.
thought for some reason that part of a budget within the last whatever was to put some restrooms out there, new restrooms. I thought it was.
Yeah, it's kind of in progress of evaluating how
Okay.
to upgrade those fields, how to redo
Right.
the restrooms, where that money's gonna come from, impact
Right.
fees, so.
Yeah, I mean, because if you, at least for that, and I guess maybe at some of the younger age groups, maybe depending what season, you might get some use out of outfields or whatever, but
Right.
if you've got those fields out there, I mean, that's probably a focus that y'all ought to push hard on to be able to utilize those.
Yeah, well, that's something I've thought about with more of our T-ball, maybe. We do have some of those temporary fences on field 1 and 3 to maybe shorten those teams a little bit, make those teams a little bit smaller, because it's T-ball, you don't really need a 9-on-9 game. Right. And we could put some thread-on bases in the outfield and have some T-ball games out in the outfield while there's another game going on one of the fields. That's something I actually just kind of recently thought about that maybe we could look at for the next season.
Thoughts like that are great.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Old Burton Wells is across the road.
It's not the same.
It's around. So if you go back out this road and take a left, yeah,
It's
yeah,
right there.
yeah,
These two
exactly.
fields
Yeah.
are existing and this
Okay.
third one here is not.
Okay.
Good.
So, yeah. And then we just ran our first indoor soccer league this past season here at Burton Wells. That went really well, I thought. So we will probably plan to do that again for a future season. And then we got these sports coming up. We've got adult baseball, which is right now at 29. Actually, I think that number was at 31 right before I came in here. That opened like 4 days ago, something like that, 5 days ago.
Something's wrong in your math there.
What's-
71 versus 29, that would be plus 42.
That's supposed to be the other way.
Oh, okay, so it's 29
Whoop.
this year?
It's 29 right now, but I think that's up to like 31. But I'm expecting 6 teams in that league, so that is probably going to go above 71 this year. Basketball, this is our first time we've done a summer basketball. We did one in the fall last year, fall-ish, right? So we're going to try that again this summer. Right now we're at 7, but we'll see where that lands. And then we're going to do adult softball. That just opened up today, so we're at a whopping 1 person. But for it just opening today, that's actually not bad. Someone's on top of it.
Kickball hasn't opened, so you don't have any yet.
Right, kickball hasn't opened yet, but it's important, I felt like, to show that we are running a summer kickball league. And then we have youth basketball. Right now we're at 50. Last year we had 145, so that's still going through the 16th, so that number should go up. And then other than that, these are some of the dates for some of the tournaments we have coming up. So Diamond Youth Baseball District Tournaments, rookie and double A are going to be in Bluffton the 12th through the 15th. Ozone is going to be in Beaufort June 18th through 21st. So that's obviously some baseball. And then Diamond Youth Softball, we've got 8U and 10U in Bluffton the 6th through the 8th, 6U and 12U in Beaufort the 11th through 13th. Like I said, we started that indoor soccer league, and then we're running our youth lacrosse league right now with 33 participants. They're really enjoying that, just trying to grow the popularity of that sport here so we can do a little bit more with it next season. So that's been running.
Diamond Youth, is that versus Dixie now?
It's the same. They changed the name. They changed the name to Diamond. Yeah. Yep. Same thing. So then we have, I think it's Top Gun. Is that correct? Coming in, they're utilizing Oscar Frazier on May 3rd for a softball tournament. And then I think they've got a couple more dates in the four more dates. And I know they're utilizing Burton Wells as well for one of those tournaments.
So they're coming in and they're paying our full fees and everything's good with the world.
That's my understanding.
Right?
They run it out of the facility.
Yeah, I mean, they're paying normal fees. Okay.
Yep.
So that tells me that our fees are okay. And they're probably a little low. Yeah, so, okay. Because those guys who run Top Gun, they want to make money. Yeah, okay, good.
So, cool. Any questions there?
Thank you.
Awesome.
1.5 minutes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Senior program, actually, they today kicks off Older Americans Appreciation Month for the whole month of May. So to celebrate some of that, they have attended an event that was put on by South Carolina Department on Aging in Columbia today. So all 8 of the centers are currently on their way back. We also will be having a big event where all 8 centers will come together here on the 13th, and the theme of that is boots on the ground. So if you guys want to come on by and see some seniors dancing, they're already getting there flapping.
Where them fans at?
Yes. Booker T is closed down for renovation and remodel. So I checked on that a week ago, and they're still plugging away, working every day. We are in the process of getting 3 new vehicles. 2 of them are actually right out that window. There's one. There's another one that's sitting over there, and the 3rd one is in getting wrapped. So we're excited about those vehicles. We have March and April numbers for our home delivered meals, which are the participants that are homebound that are not able to come into our group dining centers. So 1635, and our group dining was at 1554 approximate numbers. And that's just through the end of like yesterday. So that's about it. They had some fun field trips.
Good. And participation is, I mean, we're full, right? Are we pretty?
We're over full, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yes, there's a couple of centers that are still able to take people, and we're, as soon as they're calling and wanting to come, actually Charles Lynn Brown is one of those centers that is rapidly growing. We're getting to the point now where we have like 15 to 20 on a bingo day, which is great. So, any other questions?
Thank you.
I did it. 1 minute.
Pool's not gonna take 1 minute.
1 minute per pool.
He didn't give her a time limit.
I can't give any of time.
Okay, so Battery Creek Pool. Same hours as normal for our Battery Creek Pool. We have our school swim lessons going on as well. We have our program, which is our fins program that's still swimming there. And our check-ins for March for the fins was 407, and then for the public was 726. And for April was 280, and then for the public was 1,141.
I appreciate that breakout. That's helpful.
So yeah, Battery Creek is moving along very well right now. For Beaufort Pool, unfortunately, our pump broke down. So.
You mean we just didn't have a spare one in the closet?
That's another story. So our hours were still the same. We had our school swim lessons still the same as always. ISR just finished up and everything like that. Water aerobics has been doing well, but they will be going over to Battery Creek while the pump is down. So, our numbers for March was 1,605, but for April it did go down a little bit. 1, because ISR has left, and then 2, because the pump just went down. But 986. They're hoping it'll take at least a week for that pool.
And not fix, replace.
Replace with a brand new one.
How old was the pump that failed?
Really old. Really old.
Okay.
So it definitely
Got
needs
our
a new
money's
one.
worth out of the pump.
Yes, we definitely did. Bluffton Pool is still under construction. We are hoping that's being wrapped up really soon. And our Alvin Settles Pool, that one is closed right now, but we are hoping to open that one this weekend to accommodate Beaufort Pool being closed.
Okay, so Bluffton, what's the date now?
I have my report.
Okay. All right.
Any questions about?
DHEC is coming tomorrow to
Yes.
start
I have
the
meetings.
inspection.
I have a meeting tomorrow with DHEC to make sure everything is good to go for our Bluffton Pool for us to be able to open for them, well, under them, so.
There hasn't been any rioting in the streets yet, but that's probably coming soon.
There's been phone calls.
There have been a lot of phone calls, yes.
A lot of phone calls, yeah.
So, We offer our classes. We do have some group swim lessons and private swim lessons that are actually starting next week, but we are shifting those around for our Beaufort pool. We're shifting those to accommodate those individuals. We still have our stroke improvement. Those are mainly for adults. And then we offer CPR and lifeguarding. The lifeguarding, the last one we had was at Battery Creek Pool. So
Are we short on lifeguards?
we do have a few that have applied. We're still short. We've always.
But
yeah.
it helps when a pool's closed, right? Yeah.
Yes, so all those guards have shifted over to another pool
Right.
to help out there.
And then the outdoor pool in the summer, I mean, we have staffing for that?
Yes, and we have a few guards that are going to orientation shortly. So.
You might want to see if any of them want to become umpires too.
Actually, some of them have helped out during some of the tournaments that they've had. So, cool. Anything else for the pools?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know what to do. James got it?
I'm gonna start. All right, so I want to introduce Brock. Brock was previously an athletic supervisor on this side, and he has been promoted to the program manager for recreation, so he's going to be taking on the helm and building that program for some of the new facilities, and kind of on the north side, expanding as much as possible over here. And then Vita, who's not here, but she's
on her way back from Columbia.
She has taken the role as assistant program manager for the recreation program. So between the two of them, we're
And I do have a tendency to talk a lot, so we're keeping it at 2 minutes. 1 minute? All right, then. We'll go 1 minute. But yeah, so really what we're trying to do is find different ways to utilize the great facilities that we've been given here at the county, right? So one of my biggest things in starting is just trying to find a way to get different programs in. So we have pickleballs that are starting on Monday, beginner classes. We'll be at Charles Lynn Brown starting probably halfway through May, I believe it is. We have a Kids Gym fitness class that has started that we're doing Fridays at Charles Lynn Brown. And we also have a Tone It Thursday for just adults to kind of get in shape in more of a classroom environment on Thursdays as well at Lynn Brown. We have a table tennis club that just had their first night here last night, and that went relatively well. And there was actually a much bigger demand for table tennis than I anticipated. But the Margaritaville Latitude facility over in Bluffton, right off 95, they have 175 people in a table tennis club with only 2 tables. And I believe Data also has a table tennis club with about 75 people and 2 tables. So they're continuing to grow, and we're hoping to be a home for a lot of those people that are not able to play as much. We've got beginner art classes set to start up in August. We've reached out to TCL and a couple of their art instructors, and they're going to go kind of creating a plan that'll come in here, and there'll be affordable beginner art classes like drawing and watercolor. And then we're also hoping to start a wrestling club here in June. So
What's the ages for the wrestling club?
it is 6 through 12. So it is all kind of a wrestling club and a young men's mentorship group that'll kind of be taking place hand in hand.
Is that open for girls too?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Because there are a lot
Not
of
young men, maybe a mentorship
A
group.
lot of girls do wrestle now.
Yeah, absolutely. So they have, they actually have probably 7 or 8 girls in that program. I just misspoke. So, and then those are the classes that we already have going on at Buckwalter and at Lynn Brown as well. In this position, I'm also doing camps a lot. So we are in the process of hiring camp counselors. So if you know any men that need a summer job, please. Yeah, so Bluffton Center is pretty much at capacity. Burton Wells is about halfway there. Charles Lynn Brown and Scott both have a lot of openings going forward. We have started a scholarship program from there, and here's events that we have coming up for the next year. So we just had a movie with the Beaufort City Police last week, and we had about 40 kids out there. So planning on continuing to go to those programs in the future. Any questions?
Green.
2 minutes.
Brown, right?
30 seconds.
Somebody says 30 seconds.
You're gonna have to bring it a little stronger than that.
I know. I have another job that won't allow me to just talk for 30 seconds, especially on a mic. So as Annie spoke earlier about Bluffton Pool, we're hoping to have Bluffton Pool open in the next couple of weeks, or at least DHEC, once they're there tomorrow, that'll determine, the steps that we need to take as far as getting that pool open. It looks great. We're about there, and so we're hoping to have that there. Of course, Beaufort pool pump went out. Alvin Settles will be our backup to accommodate some of the classes that may not be able to go over to Battery Creek. Southside pickleball courts on the 9th of this month, we will have a ribbon cutting to officially open that site back up with the new courts out there. It looks amazing, and we're excited to be able to open those courts back up again at Southside. We have a community meeting, or 2 community meetings on the 6th and the 8th. Agnes Major Center and that community in the what area is that? That's the Sheldon area. They'll be getting a new facility. And so we'll be going out there on the 8th to speak about the plans for that new facility. And on the 6th, we'll be in St. Helena, Wesley Felix. They will be getting also a new facility, and we'll be going and having a community meeting. And these community meetings is the plan has been approved by council. And so these 2 facilities are actually in the permitting process stage now. We're looking to have permitting processes done around this year of August, and next year August, hoping to have those facilities open. And so we're with the new recreation team, we'll start programming those 2 facilities as far as staffing them and programming those facilities. So we're excited about that. Booker T. Washington Center is down. Marissa touched on that. Under renovations, it's going to come up really nice. We also adding a new playground there. I think the playground that was there at Booker T was my age, and I'm really old. So we're replacing that playground. We're revamping the entire inside and painting the building for some great aesthetics on the outside as well. Charles Lynn Brown will go under construction with a new gymnasium, new restrooms, new parquet floor, and we're constantly meeting with CIP to make sure that we're on schedule to bring in contractors to start that work, as well as the Bluffton Center. That center will go under renovations as well. New turf fields, new floors inside, new elevator on the inside as well, which is actually starting this summer. And so we're excited about that. Shell Point pickleball is down. We had some intrusions with the trees that's around there, and it's a tripping hazard. And so, of course, that I'm not sure the exact amount for that, but we are looking to actually go out for bid to make sure that we can redo those courts to get them back up where Beaufort County is not sued because of the tripping hazard that the branches have caused on the courts. Any questions?
What can you give a brief comment on what is going to be the new facilities at Major and Felix?
So these 2 facilities will have community centers. So we'll be able to now do summer camps and aftercare programs and tutorial programs. Our seniors that's actually on St. Helena, we rent a library. So now we don't have to rent anymore. Once our facility's up, they'll have a home. They have a new home where they can actually call, their own, site where they can go in, as 7 other of our sites have homes. And so, yes, it's a community. It's like this place. It's just not as big as this place, but those communities, population is not as big as some of these places as well. So, so we're excited about that. So it's community centers with programming just as we would program here. And also Scott Center, which we don't have on here, will go under construction for a renovation on the inside after summer camp in August. So we met with contractors there. They came in and told us how they're going to gut the entire inside,
bring it back new, do the restrooms, the floors, the whole 9 yards. And so our seniors and our aftercare program that meet out at Scott, which is on St. Helena, they will also get a new facility. Now, last year, we actually put a new playground there. So they have a really nice playground there at Scott now.
And remind me, do we own all of those
No,
facilities?
those facilities,
Are rented,
Scott,
right?
Scott, Dale, Booker T, we have a long-term lease. And so those long-term lease was just signed just maybe, I think, Audra just sent those to us maybe last week with all of them sealed, signed, and delivered. So we are in good standard to make sure that for the next 25, 50 years, the county will get the money's worth of the monies that they're putting into the facilities. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Does anybody have any questions?
Minute 30.
Oh, man. No, man. I owe you 30 seconds.
That's in dog years.
And I also want to let you guys know that our ACA, Audra, is here today if she want to say anything. I know she's like to be in the background, but that's our boss, so she's here. If anybody got any questions for her, if she want to just come up and say hello, I don't know.
Of course. Can you put a time limit on mine?
No.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Keep it to an hour.
Not too long ago, Dale retired, and I think he did a small introduction at I can't remember what month. I think I've had Parks and Rec under my vision. I think maybe this is the second month. So everybody has been great, very welcoming. I'm slowly learning. It's a lot. My division has 7 departments. So I recently took on Parks and Rec and the library. So I'm excited, and like I said, everybody has been great. So, yeah. Well, I have, great department heads, and like I said, the staff, they're amazing. So it helps a lot. So, but any questions that you have, I'm more than happy to answer. All right, thank you.
You guys cannot have a sidebar with her in the parking lot now.
We're gonna go ask her what's really going on. Okay, as far as announcements are concerned, well, let me say a couple things. I don't think Shane brought it up, but we want to have a. Were you going to bring that up?
Sure, yes, I was.
Yeah, why don't you come talk about it? There's nothing on here, so I was, okay.
Yeah. 30 seconds.
No, you can.
We do have one more slide about budgeting, so we're getting close to the end of the fiscal year. So just giving you guys an idea of where we are. Pretty much on track. We did submit our FY26 budget for next year at the same number as last year. There were some cuts across the board, but not anything significant. You see the 57K reduction in next year's. It's not finalized, but that's what we're currently looking at. From an FY25 standpoint, our budget was 1.1. We're at 900K, but with 2 months left in the year, we'll get pretty close with the remainder of our summer league registrations, and our camp registrations are going to be probably the major drivers there. And then pool, and then seniors has some additional monies coming in. So I think we'll be pretty close to our estimate. And then we had a wonderful working group for our special events. So we are looking to revamp our special event policy. We're kind of finalizing the application, go through legal, and then come back to the board and kind of explain what that's actually going to look like. Because special events are honestly awful. And the way, we haven't really had a significant one where we've had to go through the process in the last couple of years since I've been here, but they're terrible. So the committee did a great job in kind of revamping and making things a little more clear. And then we are planning on, we've kind of already started the fee schedule analysis, but it's going to take a lot more work in terms of kind of comparing us to the Hilton Heads and the Hardyvilles and the Charlestons and et cetera. So we will also be planning on putting together a fee evaluation and see what that's going to look like.
So what I would like this board to do, I think I was speaking to Heather about it, is for us to have a meeting between now and the next, and with whoever you think needs to be in it from staff, and let us know what your thoughts are on the special events, what you've done. And then also, we need to look at, you're already doing it, and we would be the approval vehicle for that. But I think that these fees, we don't have pickleball fees, we're charging tennis fees. I don't know if they should be the same or they should be different. Again, I haven't coached a baseball game in about 6 years, and we still have the same fees here for baseball fields and other things. So, I think it's I don't want to say a slippery slope. I don't think we should say, oh, okay, we're going to increase everything by 30%. But if we're significantly below what other communities charge for things like that, I think we have to be stewards of that, and we have to have the proper fees. So I think, Heather, once you think y'all are ready, we'll set up a meetings call so we can all get together and have some interplay on that. So when you do come to us, you've already got our views, and we can approve what you're looking for. Does anybody have any discussion on that?
We do have some areas that we're already looking at. Our adult baseball program is significantly lower than it needs to be. Our swim lessons are significantly cheaper than they need to be.
Right.
So that type of thing.
And also with the comment you just made, when we go back and look at our fee schedule and how we're doing everything, we're looking at an ordinance that we need to take to council, because we have fees all over the place, and when I got in here we didn't have so we're creating fees and charges. As Shane said, we're looking at other municipalities on what they're doing and what they're charging, and we want to be in the ball game. We want to be on the same ball field as our neighbors. But we're looking at bringing everything that we're doing. We'll meet with Audra, and we'll meet with the county administrator. And because we don't have an ordinance for what we approve today. We don't have anything in place to say, if someone want to come here and say, I want to be able to have a fee waive, whereas there's an ordinance in place to say that we can do this or do that. So my job is to just create that, and then we'll come to you guys and say, this is what we created, this is what was approved, and then we'll go from there. Because in my world, or my old world, everything had an ordinance tied to it, so there was nobody coming back and say, well, that guy with the blue suit on, he told me I didn't have to pay anything, and now it's like
we could have the pickleball courts for free.
Right. So it's a domino effect.
I went to somebody and I told them, and we did it. Right. Yeah.
And so they'll watch this and say, hey man, listen, you gave it to them for free, and why do we have to pay? So we got to have something in place.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's what we're creating now. So we'll come back to you guys once we get all that stuff in place.
While the two of you are up here, just a curiosity question.
Yes, sir.
Why is there a passive parks department and a parks and recreation department?
It was here before I got here, so.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that.
Audra definitely wants to talk about that.
Yeah, so
I knew they had a question.
It is completely two different departments. So passive parks is, Widgeon Point and areas that we have throughout the county that was purchased possibly through Rural and Critical. So it is a difference. They don't provide any programming. It's passive park, where Parks and Recreation, provides athletics and programming.
This is my background. I was a Parks and Recreation director for 31 years. It seems to me they should be merged together. Either have a division of passive parks, but to have two, it's almost a little confusing to say, oh, you got a passive park with it. It's not that, it's Parks and Recreation. No, it's passive park.
I agree. And we have had the discussion administration on changing, the name of passive parks, because it is confusing. It really is. But it is two separate departments and two different, missions and service that they provide. So.
And we live in a unique area too, where what would be a passive park in the middle of Ohio is significantly different than what it is here.
That's right.
I mean, it's really centered around environmentally sensitive areas and other things. Other than that, so I don't know.
Ohio didn't have any alligators either.
Yeah. Well.
and a lot of
there's one negative about Ohio, and I'm a Michigan fan, so there's only one.
Go Blue.
Yeah, go Blue.
No.
But there are, with our passive parks, like I said, a lot of it is Rural and Critical. There are restrictions on those. So it is different. But it is confusing, I agree.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, I don't know. I guess a biking trail would be considered an active park, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But it could, I guess, be in a passive park. I
It could
don't know.
potentially be, yeah, it depends on the
potentially.
restrictions.
So that's a hybrid. Okay.
Right.
All right, well, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, so I've got one, so be ready for participation in this meeting that we're gonna have. And I do have one last announcement, and that is, and I wish I would have known sooner, but Ron Campbell has served this board for many years. He was in the board when I came in many years ago, and Ron
15 years.
has done a great job for this organization. Many of us that have been on it for a certain period of time have watched, it grow from from here to here. And, the majority of that growth was in Bluffton, Hilton Head, but now it's coming in Beaufort too. So I just want to thank Ron for his service. I appreciate your friendship over all these years, and wish you well. Thank you. All right? Thank you. All right, does anyone have anything else? So our next meeting is July 10th in Bluffton. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yeah, he's got us.
All in favor? All right. Thank you all.